Earl Phelps. A shooting at the 111 Club, 6232 Hollywood Boulevard.
Sounds like a homicide beef.
2 of the dead guys caught in the crossfire were carrying Army surplus morphine. Get over there before homicide tramples all over the place.
We already cleared that up.
Judge in Pasadena took the big sleep yesterday. He had a personal stash of 20 cigarettes. Appears we didn't get all of it. Go to it, detective. I have nothing further to say on the subject. Get over to the crime scene and see what you can turn up.
God damn it. Just can't seem to put this morphine to sleep.
A dead judge. It's not good.
Everyone has their vices. Even you, Phelps. Parker and Green are going toe-to-toe for the top job. There's a change in the wind.
About time.
This wind will be like a tornado, Phelps. Parker's got a puritanical streak. You never know we'll get swept up in a thing like that.
All units, officers need help at 1384 North Bronson. 1384 North Bronson, shots fired. Any units to handle identified. Code 3.
How well did you know the owner?
All units, further on the shooting at 1384 North Bronson. 116 Adam reports the suspect is on the roof of the J.W. Robinson building. All units, approach with caution.
McGoldrick? Well enough. He was in my unit.
Units 49 William, 15 Adam, go to 1370 Gordon Street. Establish a perimeter and stand by for further. Any other units to respond. Code 3, identify.
That's some cruel irony. You survive the war, then get blown to pieces back home.
Unit 19 Adam, meet the officer at 5920 Fountain Avenue. Assist Unit 49 William transporting an injured citizen. 19 Adam handle. Code 3.
It happens more than you'd think. Young guys trying to adjust to normal life, getting mixed up in the wrong crowds.
All units, officer down at 1384 North Bronson. Ambulance is en route. Repeating, all units, officers still need help on Bronson. Approach with extreme caution.
The kid had just bought a nightclub. I'd say he got mixed up in the right crowds.
Until someone filled him full of holes.
You don't come into that kind of money that quickly without pissing a few people off. So, half your old lackeys were on that boat. The late Mr. Goldrick included.
They weren't my lackeys.
Subordinates then, whatever you want to call them.
Homicide guys are already inside. Looks like a war zone in there. You've got your work cut out for you. Best get on with it.
There were a lot of people on that boat.
Maybe you're behind this whole thing, Phelps. Wouldn't that be a master stroke? Hey, cut me in early and we'll ride this one into the sunset.
Sooner you get this thing cleaned up, the sooner I can get back to my beat.
Take a look around, Phelps. Looks like a straightforward execution to me. You'll have my report when it's ready. Right now, you want to be examining evidence.
I've got about 60 rounds to dig out of the walls. Could we do this later? I'll be bagging evidence for the next 4 hours. We can catch up later.
Quit stomping around me or all these are going to come out blurred. Go do some work for a change. You want me to sign one of these for you? No? Then buzz off.
Sounds like you've got the case all sewn up, Roy. We should call it a day and go home.
And miss out on the blue room? I couldn't do that to you.
Bukowski. Phelps. Back again. We're here about the morphine.
Over by the bandstand. You can see what's left of the owner, Eddie McGoldrick, 26, former Marine.
I know Eddie McGoldrick. He was a non-com in my old unit.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cole. Waitress said he recently came into some money and bought the club.
Talk about tension. That was like being trapped in an elevator with a married couple who can't decide whether they love each other or hate each other.
Who are the other Vics?
2 musicians, Biddleston and Bowe. And get this, they used to be in a 4-piece, but the trombone player and the drummer OD'd.
We go back a long way.
Don't tell me. Lamont and Tyree? We've met the rest of the band.
Now they're a no-piece. You went too easy on him. Next time, you leave it to me. I know how to handle that smug son of a bitch.
Do you mind if we take a look around?
You don't. Jack will never give up his own men.
Be my guest. You might want a word with the hostess, too. I'll keep her company until you're ready.
This isn't looking good. I feel like the fat kid at the back of a race.
Phelps, work the morphine angle. I'll work the stiffs.
You sure it's Cohen making the hits?
Captain wants this one cleared up quick. Let me know how it goes with the dope.
All fingers point his way. Your buddies are in way over their heads.
Being a Marine doesn't mean shit out here.
Do we have a news source, or is this coming from what's left in circulation? Well-maintained, custom case. Someone cared for this instrument. What's that click? Neat trick? The case must have cost more than the trumpet. We should follow up on the musician angle. He kept his stash close at hand. Must have pumped a dozen rounds into him. Certainly sends a message. They didn't even try to crack the safe. Bad luck, Eddie. Okinawa couldn't kill you, but knowing the wrong people in this city...
Is this guy hunting for bear? Look at these things.
They're BARs. You get the odd guy who sneaks one of them home from the war. How did he get 3 of them? A dozen packs to a carton, 100 cartons or more. Looks like a couple of months' supply. These look brand new. Never fired. They haven't been degreased yet. We could check on the serial numbers. Army surplus again. McGoldrick must have been moving contraband through the club. Ma'am, I'm Detective Phelps, Administrative Vice Squad.
Welcome to the 111 Club, Detective. Feels like I've had half the LAPD in here today already.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off. If I had been here, honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
Well, you must have some thoughts.
We get all types in here, officer.
You want to level with me, miss, before we start taking an interest in you.
This place has been on the slide for years. Eddie turns up, buys the club, then we start getting visits from tough guys. Next thing you know, we have the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Are you getting the picture?
What's this all about? Is Eddie behind on the VIG?
Eddie paid cash, sugar. I have no idea what enemies he might have had. I'm not your problem here, detective. Whatever Eddie was up to, he didn't share with me or the staff.
Army surplus morphine, Army surplus weapons, Army surplus valors. Sound familiar?
We should get back to the station and check the details of what exactly was lifted from that ship.
Tell us about Eddie.
Eddie didn't know a thing about running a nightclub. He came into some money and waltzed in and bought the place. The previous owner thought all his Christmases had come at once.
Where do you think he got the money?
My guess was that he was selling the sort of quality product that you don't need to advertise.
That's some suggestion you're making about a former United States Marine.
Marine or no, Eddie was in over his head. Sorry if I hurt your feelings.
You're lying. Eddie had enemies. You must have seen them.
They allow you to booze on the job, detective? It's giving you funny ideas. When you're ready to have a civil conversation, we can try again. I think that's all there is. You better excuse me, honey. If you're done, I gotta close this place up and notify staff. This how you usually solve a crime? Come on back and ask your question. I don't bite.
Thank you for your help, ma'am.
Eddie was in over his head, but he was a decent boss.
We're trying to find out who's behind this, ma'am. You're not making it any easier.
Well, you're not being much of a gentleman, honey. You boys take care now.
You heard the man. Dope at the 111 Club. That's gotta be a first. We missed something in that mess at the 111. Let's go back. Find out what's going on from the Bulls and homicide. I'll look around. Best search the place, Cole. All of the rooms. Joint like this could have some funny stuff lying around. Have a word with the broad when you're ready. Maybe she knows what went down. Your other dead war buddy. You check his pockets too?
What's going on?
That fucking rat Stoker has gone public about Brenda.
Who is Brenda?
Brenda is LA's most famous madam.
And everyone knows it?
Of course everyone knows. Brenda pays her way.
Are we cops or a collection agency?
Whores have been around since the Bible. Our job is to keep it off the street so Joe Citizen and his wife can stroll around unmolested.
Then we should change the law.
Are you out of your mind? Every politician in America is against prostitution, except when they're using them.
So where does Stoker come in?
He objects to the LAPD and the administration taking its cut.
Is everyone in on this?
Yeah, and that's the problem. From a little acorn does a large tree grow. He could bring the whole thing crashing down on us.
Aren't you supposed to be working the...
Sir, do you know which robbery detectives are working the Army surplus theft from the Coolidge?
Caldwell and McManus. I saw Caldwell in the squad room not long ago if you want to speak to him.
Thank you, sir. We'll do that.
This way.
Get to it, Detective. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I have other cases.
Harry, you got a minute?
Sure, Cole, anytime.
You've been working the docks robbery on the SS Coleridge?
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you see it?
Inside job. Either the guys working the wharves or some of the guys on the ship.
What else was taken apart from the morphine?
Case of BARs, case of Thompsons, crate of Valor smokes.
Homicide just recovered 3 BARs and a mountain of cigarettes at a shooting at the 111 Club.
No kidding. I better get over there.
Do you have a copy of the manifest?
Yeah. Here it is.
So, how do we connect the docks robbery to the mess at the 111 Club?
Here he is, McGoldrick, Eddie. Here's our backroom arsenal from the 111 Club. Enough to arm 3 companies. This is the crate we recovered. 500,000 cigarettes loose on the streets of L.A. Some of these guys are from my old unit. They must have finally shipped home. Kelso, Sheldon, McGoldrick.
McGoldrick was on the boat?
Sure, we checked him out.
McGoldrick bought the 111 Club, Harry. His brains are all over the bar.
Looks like whoever stole the dope is getting muscled.
By whom?
Dragner or Cohen. They control the hop.
Thanks, Harry. Stay in touch on this.
Sounds like I better get down to the 111 Club. Thanks for the tip, Phelps. See you around. Let's catch up soon, Cole. Now I gotta get back to work.
Detectives, KGPL's going crazy. Shots fired at 1384 North Bronson. Some guy with an automatic spraying a Hollywood bus. They want every car. Go!
I heard you were in the Blue Room the other night. Shouldn't you have been at home? Tucked in bed with the wife and kids?
Where I go is your business?
It couldn't have had anything to do with a certain delightful but damaged German girl, could it?
I don't know what you're talking about, Roy.
Back to the station. We need to speak to someone on the robbery detail. Come on, Cole, back to Hollywood Station. We have to find out where Eddie's stash came from. You worked with Caldwell, Cole. Go catch up. Get the scoop on the investigation. Take a look at the manifest and see if we have a match.
I check coats. That's all I get paid to do. Excuse me. I've got to sort through some unclaimed items right now.
Take a break, boys.
We would like them to stay, Miss Lichtman. We're making inquiries into the recent deaths of 4 musicians.
Since when have the police cared about dead black men?
Good point. We don't. What we care about is 2 tons of Army surplus morphine showing up on the street. If you care about working in this town, you better give me something on Biddleston and Bow, or their knucklehead buddies Tyree and Lamont.
And this is your idea of making inquiries, Untersturmführer?
I've told you 1,000 times about speaking that German gibberish at me, Elsa.
Roy, how about you get a drink while I see to this?
Will you sit down?
Why antagonize him, Elsa? You know what he's capable of.
Ask your questions, head officer. We have work to do.
My partner mentioned a couple of names. You recognize them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They frequented the Blue Room. They were musicians. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
The only way you're going to get rid of me is to give me an answer.
I knew Cornell. We worked together a few years ago. He loved the music, but the music didn't love him.
What does that mean?
It means that he just wasn't that good. He was a sad, lonely cat.
I don't believe you. You knew these men.
And how would you like to prove that, detective? You're out of your depth here, detective, and you're asking the wrong questions of the wrong people.
People are dying of overdoses. If you know anything about it, you need to tell me.
I can't help you.
A lot of cats are into the thing. There's nothing special about your boys.
I'm not looking to arrest users. I'm after the supply.
You just don't get it, do you? Some people can't live without heroin.
You can do this the easy way with me, or I can call my partner back over. I can assure you he's a lot less sensitive.
You think your threats frighten me?
Black man don't supply nothing. You think there's a black man in this town holding on to 2 tons of morphine? He'd be dead in a minute. White man supplies, black man buys.
Hopheads appear to get a free pass at this club. You all know about the morphine.
And how do you expect to prove that? I have a rehearsal to finish. It's time for you to leave. Boys, take 5 minutes, please. I need to have a private word with you, officer. Why do you ask people to risk talking about a subject that could have them jailed?
Drugs are against the law, Elsa.
And you're so full of courage, you have never felt ashamed.
This is getting us nowhere.
Do you think you'll win your war against narcotics?
It's not my war. It's against the law. My job is to prosecute the laws of this city.
Do you think you can stop people from needing drugs, detective?
I'm asking the questions here.
Then why do you come to me with your stupid questions? You know who controls the drugs in this city.
It's not enough to just survive, Elsa. You have to try and make the world a better place.
Brave words, and very noble. But words are just words, Cole Phelps.
She's right. We need to pay a visit to the mixter.
Cohen? Do you know where to find him?
This time of day? You'll find him holding court at the Macambo.
He can wait. There's something I need to be sure of. Give me till tomorrow morning.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, partner.
Leave me alone. I have nothing more to say to you. No more questions. Arrest me or leave me to do my work. Do something. Don't just stand there all day. Do you wish to finish the interview?
I think you got about just as much as you're gonna get, policeman. You can tell your drug story again if you want, but I heard it 1,000 times. I got nothing more to say on that.
I know nothing about your morphine, mister. You better get going. You probably got a lot of jazz clubs to visit and a lot of colored boys to shake down.
All these junkies seem to get a free pass to the Blue Room. How about we pay a visit? Now, I know a certain detective who would just love to go back to the Blue Room. Now, why would that be, Cole? Have a word with Elsa. And keep your mind on the job, huh? LAPD, we're looking for Mayor Cohen. I believe he has lunch here.
There's not going to be any trouble, is there?
Which table?
Number 3, if you'll follow me. Sirs, Mr. Cohen's table is this way. Your business is with Mr. Cohen. I have a restaurant to manage. I can help you with a table, sir, but that is all. Gentlemen, Messrs. Cohen and Stompanato.
LAPD. We have some questions regarding...
Hi, Mickey. How's it hanging?
Fine. Just fine, Roy. I see you brought Iga Beaver along. Hope he's not going to put the shakes on me again.
Cole Phelps, Mickey Cohen.
Good afternoon.
He has manners. Aren't you a little green for this kid?
Meet Johnny Stompanato, Cole. He has the biggest schlong in Hollywood and the smallest gun. Or maybe that's the other way around. I can never quite remember.
You're a funny guy, Roy. Haven't I always said what a funny guy Roy is? And how much fun it would be to get together with him sometime.
Poor Johnny. He's the dark, sensitive type. He's a serviceman too, Cole. Johnny was at Okinawa.
You were in the crotch?
6th Marines.
The lieutenant who won the Silver Star up on Sugarloaf. I've heard of you.
Something like that.
All right, have we finished flirting? You got something to discuss, Roy? Or are you going to stand around beating the meat while my lunch gets cold?
We have some questions.
Do I need my lawyer?
Your brother-in-law, Lenny Finkelstein, was selling stolen morphine. He had 1/3 of the shipment.
Old news, kid. I don't know anything about what Lenny was up to.
Word is that Jack Dragna is closing you out. You're going to need friends, Mr. Cohen. We need that morphine.
Dragna? He's an old woman, all right? He's frightened to cross the road. Listen, I don't need your help, boy chick. I got plenty of friends at the LAPD already.
So I'm supposed to believe that you don't know what happened to the rest of the shipment?
Lenny, God rest his soul, was a moron. He was family, though, and I haven't made a beef about that, so count yourself lucky, kid. The H is a filthy habit, and I don't condone it. The simple solution would be to have all the dope fiends put down.
So you don't know where he got the morphine?
Kid, ask a question you might get an answer to.
Jack Dragna has you on the run. You're muscling the guys who stole the morphine from the ship.
You calling me a liar, kid? You think you can prove that in court? Huh? Nice try, kid. But you're going to have to do a lot better than that.
We believe there's a link between a group of Marines and the morphine stolen from the SS Coolidge. One of those Marines was shot to death in a club last night.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Lenny wasn't smart enough to run this operation. He was strictly distribution. This smells of a deal gone wrong.
You're very perceptive, Boychik, but you could never shake hard enough to get me to give it up.
So you haven't heard anything about what happened at the 111 Club?
What can I say, kid? I'm shocked that in the land of opportunity, Uncle Sam's finest feel the need to resort to crime. It's a dangerous business. I can attest to that. I'd recommend they get out of the life. Quickly.
I think you're lying. I think the 111 Club was your men. I think you're trying to send a message.
I'll send you a message, kid. You better have some proof that that was one of mine, or else you better have health insurance, huh? All of the scratching around in that little book is cute, kid. Run along now, huh?
A few Negroes saying goodbye on the sidewalk will never make the papers, Mickey. But we had a judge in Pasadena say adios the other day. Prominent white people popping their clogs makes everyone nervous.
You know dope has never been my thing, Roy. It's always been for schmendricks like Jack D. and Jimmy Utley. But I'll ask around and I'll get back to you. Hey, you boys want some lunch? How about a drink?
We'll take a rain check on that. Come on, Cole, we're leaving.
We have to cut that dope. It looks bad with people dying.
We have to get the rest of it. There's no way of watering down the stuff in those little packages. We have to put the squeeze on those guys and get the rest of it.
They don't seem the type to frighten that easy.
We'll see. Kid, I'm at work here with my food. I grew up poor, so I don't abide wasting good grub. I hope you find the humps who did the 111. That kind of thing is bad for business. Goodbye, kid. I think your bright spark might have blown a fuse, Roy. Hey, you still there, kid? I'm sorry, is this kid walking away from me? Back here, Boychik. How about we cut this little talk short before I lose my temper?
Do us a favor. Vamos, kid. On your way out, tell your partner to get some new material. His act stinks.
It's time to pay Mickey a visit at the Mocambo. Mickey's a tough egg. We gotta go back to the club and see if he cracks. Ask the maitre d' to announce us. Mickey has been questioned 1,000 times. See if you can do any better.
Shooter has a machine gun! He's emptied 2 clips into the bus! As near as we can make out, he's on the roof of one of those buildings.
Find a way up there and stop that son of a bitch, Cole!
LAPD, drop the gun now!
You should check out our friend for identification, seeing as we weren't formally introduced.
It's one of the BARs. Phone number and restaurant table.
All clear, detective. Go to work. You better go find out what happened here.
This could have been a goddamn tragedy. You need to get to work.
We got a lot of frightened people here, detective. Try to look in control. The place is secure. Go do what you do.
I know that guy. Felix Alvaro.
He's one of the guys from the ship?
His name was on the manifest.
Looks like McGoldrick wasn't the only one to get a message.
Hey, Alvaro.
Hey, Lieutenant.
He's just a plain detective now, Chico.
Who's the jughead?
This is my partner, Roy Earl. We just want to find out what happened.
What happened is that someone took a shot at my bus. And then cops turned up and started treating me like I'm some sort of Pachuco punk. My people have been in California for over 300 years.
Very fucking admirable, Felix.
You hear anything about the big heist on the Coolidge?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what happened?
Not much. The cops came and interviewed me and all the other guys on the ship.
Felix, that morphine is turning up everywhere. People are dying. You got something you want to tell me?
I'm a bus driver. Do I look like I run a dope racket?
I was down at the 111 Club this morning, waiting for the medical examiner to scrape Eddie McGoldrick's brains off the bar. You want to tell me anything about that?
I heard that Eddie came into some money. Too bad he didn't keep a low profile. It was a tough break to get through Okinawa and then have to buy it back home.
I don't believe you, Felix. I've got gunmen blasting away at innocent citizens. This is getting out of hand. Is there something you want to tell me?
I don't appreciate you calling me a liar, detective. You want to prove that I was involved? I'll let it slide this time. For old time's sake.
Who's shooting at you, Felix?
How the fuck do I know?
So you're telling me this was random?
They go on someone else on the bus. They could like using buses for target practice, man. How the hell would I know?
Felix, we didn't go through Okinawa to come back to this on our streets.
I've got the LAPD to keep me safe, right? Me and all my people.
The dead guy on the roof works for Mickey Cohen. Why would Cohen want you dead?
Man, I don't know anything about Mickey Cohen or any of those gangsters.
Your name was in the sniper's notebook. Level with me, Felix.
Cohen thinks because we were on the boat, we have the morphine. Courtney's meeting those guys to sort it out.
Courtney Sheldon?
Yeah. You remember Sheldon, don't you, Cole? You think I'd be dumb enough to get involved with people like that? No way.
We'll be in touch, Felix.
You heard that Jack is in L.A.?
I saw his name on the manifest.
He's been here a couple of months. Sure glad to see you got over your wound, Lieutenant. Detective. I need to get down to the depot and see what they want to do about my shift. I quit taking orders when I left the Corps. You still there, Phelps? Has the light gone off? My bus is full of holes. I would have thought you'd want some answers. You know, you haven't changed one little bit. Get the fuck out of my face, Lieutenant.
Pretty cool customer.
He's been under fire before.
You buying his story?
Not for a minute. Jack was a company sergeant. He would never get involved in something like this.
We brace him and drag him downtown.
It won't work. He's a tough customer.
God damn it. Kelso's the leader of this thing. Let's get to a game well and find out where he lives.
I need an address on a Jack Kelso.
Just a second. Jack Kelso, apartment 4, 1408 North El Centro Avenue, Hollywood.
You heard the call, Cole. Shots fired. Put your foot down. We need to get to the bus stop. I say we go back to the bus stop, check the physical evidence, and work the suspects. Check the dead guy's pockets and see if he has any ID. Might as well take a look at the rifle. Could be traceable. Speak to the driver and speak to the witnesses. I've got your back.
Hello, Jack. This is Detective Roy Earl. We would like a word.
Hello, Cole. Would you like to come inside?
Actually, we'd prefer if you'd come downtown with us. Do you mind?
Do I have any choice?
No, you don't.
Are you going to tell me what this is all about?
It would be better for all of us if we discussed it at the station.
Bad move, Cole.
So, how have you been, Jack?
Cut the crap. You pick me up in front of my apartment like a common criminal and then expect small talk? Fuck you.
All your war buddies. How cozy. We need to go embrace Jack Kelso. We need to put Kelso under lights. Back to the station.
What do you know about the Army surplus robbery from the Coolidge, Jack?
What I know is that on 3 separate occasions you would have been dead if it weren't for me. I don't know anything about the robbery.
Come on, Jack. You were there. You must know something. People are dying over this morphine.
We had been in port 2 days and the Navy crew were busy unloading. Most of us were making final arrangements to travel home. Everything that was stolen was taken straight from the dockside. Police interviewed my unit and most of the swabbies.
People are dying because morphine intended to help servicemen is being used on the street. Now we have guys from our old unit being killed by mobsters. We can put 2 and 2 together, Jack.
Gratitude isn't a concept that has much effect on you, is it, Cole?
Answer the question, Jack. Let's get this over with.
I was interviewed when the robbery took place. I don't have anything further to add.
I don't believe you, Jack. You were there. You were either involved or you know who is.
You calling me a liar, Cole? I hope you have something to back that up. I won't let you hide behind your rank any longer. You can tick me off your little list. I'm not involved.
Do you know that there's a gang war going on in LA trying to recover that stolen morphine?
That has nothing to do with me.
Did you know that Eddie McGoldrick recently came into money and bought a nightclub?
No, I didn't know that.
Then you didn't know that some mobsters blew his brains out last night.
No, I didn't.
You want to take a guess where he got hold of the cash?
Not really.
Quit lying to me, Jack. You know what's going on. You've been in this with Eddie from the start.
I'd want to have something solid to back up what I was saying if I was you. You finished? Because I am.
You heard that a crate of BARs went missing?
No, I didn't.
So you wouldn't know why Eddie McGoldrick had 3 of them.
The goddamn fool.
I saw Felix Alvaro today.
Good. How was he?
A little pale. One of Mickey Cohen's goons had emptied about 60 BAR rounds into the bus he was driving. A public bus, in the middle of Hollywood. Are you going to tell me what's going on? Or do more innocent people have to die?
Yeah, and what's in it for you, Cole? Newspapers? More glory? Another promotion? Another medal at the expense of men who fought for their country? Count me out.
You're not a good liar, Jack. I know you want to help your guys, but this has gone too far.
If you believe I had anything to do with the theft of the BARs, or the morphine for that matter, I suggest you produce some evidence. I've had enough of this. You're wasting my time.
Level with me, Jack. Some of the guys stole that dope.
Eddie McGoldrick. There's your man. Case closed. Can I go now?
I'm sure it would be gripping to hear more of your life story, boys, but the truth is, I don't give a fuck. You were on the boat, Kelso. What happened?
Do you really think a bunch of Marines could muscle in on the dope rackets in this town? Between the Vice Squad and the mob, I hear it's pretty sewn up.
You'd better watch your mouth.
Jack, you know about the morphine. You weren't involved, but you know who is.
You can't prove what I know and what I don't know, Cole. This is going nowhere. I'm done with this.
Jack, we just want information.
Bullshit, Cole. Did you seriously believe that dragging me down here would get me to give up my own guys? You call yourself a Marine? Trying to make a name for yourself with this shitheel? Look at this chump with his $200 suit and $2,000 car.
The tough guy act is really impressive. I like you, Jack. I'd like to make you for this. I really would. I'm going to be working on it and keeping an eye on you. You can go now.
I have a job to do. How about you let me get on with it? I have nothing further to say. You want more out of me? I suggest you press charges. You okay, Phelps? Standing around, doing nothing? You look shell-shocked. You got me here now, Cole. Ask your goddamn questions. I still haven't seen a charge on the table here, Cole. Until I do, you can go to hell. We're done.
Shooting, Robert Steiner, 6780 West Sunset Boulevard. The victim is a Chris Majowski.
Another name from the manifest? How many more friends of yours are going to get plugged today? I think Kelso has you snowed. Get some answers out of the guy.
They just walked up and shot the man. 2 of them officers, they went that way.
Watch it. These guys aren't going to go quietly. Open fire!
An LAPD file. We have a traitor in our midst. All of the names on the list have a hit team assigned to them.
We need to get to those guys fast, otherwise there'll be no case.
Cohen is meeting with Sheldon tonight. They're taking out all the guys from the ship.
Why? How does that get them the dope?
They obviously don't know who has the morphine, and they're waiting for someone to crack.
Car 11 King calling KGPL.
KGPL, go ahead, 11K.
Request backup to 1615 Wilcox Avenue, Hollywood Post Office. That's 1615 Wilcox Avenue. Code 2, suspects armed and dangerous, KGPL. Approach with caution.
Roger that, 11K.
We need to get to the diner before all your old pals get aced. Let's go back to the alley where we mopped up these goons. See if we missed something. Search the bodies, Cole. See if you can ID these guys. Okay, hands in pockets. Let's see who we got.
They're giving ground. Move up. We gotta tag the rest of them. God damn it. Officer down!
Looks like Sheldon is bringing his own fire team with him.
Tell Courtney. Bad luck. It was worth a try. It was worth a try.
Polar Bear Ice Company. They really did it. Wonder whether it was worth it.
Most people never get the chance to be rich. Wouldn't you risk it? Christ. I've looked at more stiffs than a cheap whore today.
We need to get ahead of this thing before everyone on that ship ends up dead.
The captain gave us a pretty simple remit. Less dope, less bodies.
I guess we can kiss goodbye to a Christmas bonus. Majewski, Beckett, Goldrick, Driscoll, these are good guys. Why did they get wrapped up in this thing?
Not everyone has your unwavering restraint in the face of temptation, Cole. Carl Evan King to KGPL.
KGPL, go ahead, 11K.
Request backup to Grauman's Chinese Theater, 1629 Hollywood Boulevard. Code 2, suspects armed and dangerous. Approach with caution. The post office, Cole, and be quick about it. You think the Vicks at the post office had something on them that we missed? We could try there. Quick, search them. Then let's get the hell out of here before we get dragged into the paperwork.
LAPD, put your hands in the air!
We need to put a net around them all at this meeting. The thing is, we take this upstairs, the Hat Squad will take over the case.
If we don't have some backup, we are going to be totally outgunned. There's still the matter of the missing BARs. We need more firepower.
We're losing suspects, Cole. We need to get to the next place on that hit list, fast. Step on it, we might be too late. We need to get the Graumans before all these guys get whacked.
Backup should be here soon. I'll try and get onto the roof and see if I can get behind their position.
Keep moving, I'll cover you. They're making a run for it after them. On the roof, Cole, nail them. I'm going to put out an APB on every one of the sons of bitches on that list.
KGPL to car 11K. Car 11 King, come in.
Carl Evan King.
11K, go to Hollywood Station. Hey, Courtney Sheldon is at Hollywood Station requesting an interview with Detective Cole Phelps.
Well, I'll be damned.
That's not correct protocol, 11K. I'll take that as a roger.
Carl Evan King en route. I'm working a major case. I'm not close, Cap. It's going to have to wait. But, Cap, if we can get them all in the alleyway, we wrap the whole case.
Roy, in my office, if you please. Let Phelps do the interrogation. No buts. This is more important. Not you, lad. You get on with your interrogation. Roy can take care of himself, Detective Phelps. Back to your case.
You're in interview too, Phelps. There's a quack in there with him.
What gives?
Beats me. Word came down from the chief. Said it was okay.
Sheldon, is this your attorney?
No, Detective. This is Dr. Harlan Fontaine. He came down here to help me out.
How do you do, sir?
You stole the morphine from the Coolidge.
You can't prove that.
Let's see if I can try. And what is your relationship to Sheldon, sir?
Tutor, mentor. Mr. Sheldon is a medical student of mine. He has a very bright future.
Oh, that's nice to know. Too bad all of your war buddies won't get to see your graduation. You were on the ship, Sheldon.
Yes, that's correct.
So you had opportunity.
But it doesn't mean that I was involved.
How do you think this is going to play out, Courtney? It's either going to be you or Jack.
What's this got to do with Jack? Jack would never be involved in anything like this.
But you would.
He has already denied any wrongdoing.
So Eddie McGoldrick took his cut and bought the 111 Club.
I don't know what Eddie has been up to.
So you don't mind that the mob executed McGoldrick, Driscoll, and Beckett to get to you?
I don't know why you're trying to pin this on me. Where's your proof?
Beckett had a message for you before he died. Bad luck. It was worth a try.
I feel bad about Beckett, Phelps. He was a hard charger. Those guys deserve more. I don't blame them for taking their shot. We finished here, Cole?
I would have asked Beckett or Majewski or Driscoll about their involvement, but that's difficult, considering they're all dead. That leaves you, Sheldon.
You can't blame their deaths on me, Phelps.
So what are you going to do with your cut, Sheldon? You were probably the bravest man I ever saw, and you were acting like a low coward.
I'd ask you not to answer that, dear boy. Do you have any real evidence, detective?
You're training to be a doctor, Courtney. How do you justify all of these deaths? You're supposed to want to save people.
Before you get on your high horse, I saved my fair share in Peleliu and Okinawa. My conscience is clear. How do you sleep at night?
You're lying, Courtney. The other guys aren't smart enough to attempt something like this. You either give it up, or I go after Jack for it.
And how do you prove that, Cole?
We know about your showdown with Cohen. We found notes on your guys.
Cohen is hitting our old unit. He believes we have the morphine. I told him that we don't have it. And that's the truth. Isn't it, Doc?
I believe Mr. Sheldon. I think he's telling the truth, Detective.
Jack isn't scared of you, Phelps. None of us were. We just followed your orders.
Have you finished, Detective?
I'm just getting started. You have an answer for everything, Courtney. Let's hope Jack does, because now I'm going after him. Is there anyone you're not prepared to sacrifice?
Jack is not in this. He's a good guy.
You were Jack, Courtney. I don't care who goes to jail. I just want the morphine off the street.
What are you offering, Cole?
Don't be ridiculous, son. This man is gambling.
What's your offer? I don't know what else to tell you, Detective. That's it. You can ask all day long, but I have nothing more to say. Stare all you want. I have nothing to hide. I came down here on my own accord to help with your investigation, and you're walking out?
You may well be fascinating to speak to, Detective, but I charge by the half hour, and I guarantee you couldn't afford me. I've taken quite an interest in Mr. Sheldon, so you can understand why it pains me to see him lambasted unnecessarily. Please, leave us be.
Doctor, good to see you.
I'm conducting an investigation.
Upstairs in my office, now.
This man is about to confess.
As of now, you're suspended from duty, pending a fitness review.
What are you talking about?
You heard the man, Phelps. Upstairs and face the music like the hero you were.
This Sheldon guy's waiting at the station, Cole. I know he's your buddy, but you have to bring the hammer down on these guys. This Sheldon character is the last man standing who can explain this shit. Let's get back to the station and have it out with him. You're on your own, partner. Get in that room and get a confession.
You certainly had us fooled, Detective. Phelps, you're one of my favorite sons. You've broken this old man's heart. You're suspended, Phelps. Hand over your badge and gun.
Don't keep him waiting.
Sir, what is going on here?
Your wife's attorney has pictures of you and the German. Compromising pictures, lad.
She's pressing charges. You'll be formally charged with adultery. A criminal cannot serve as an LAPD officer, as I'm sure you're aware.
I don't understand.
How could you do it, lad? Your wife, your children, consorting with the enemy and a dope fiend at that. You're lucky the war is over. You'd be taken out and shot. The department doesn't need this kind of publicity, Phelps. Hand over the gun, keep your head down until your board hearing. I forbid you to make any comments to the press. What the hell were you thinking?